Welcome to Dimension Lens, where things are always a little out of focus. You arrive in the town of Midlow, where your adventure begins. You spent a long, aimless night wandering the woods, not knowing quite where you were headed. As the sun climbed up above the horizon, you found yourself somewhere unfamiliar, at the door of a tavern. Welcome. The woman behind the bar greets you as you walk in. She appears to be a jovial, middle-aged halfling woman, standing on a stool and polishing a few glasses as you approach her. Her eyes are mahogany brown, and her curled hair a russet red, reminding you of the autumns back home. Well now, I don't think I've seen that face around here before. Traveler? You nod, approaching the bar. The woman sets down the glass in her hand with a little clink, studying you intensely. We don't get travelers around here often. What brings you to Midlow? Personal business, you say. You don't want her asking any more than that. But the woman purses her lips, and you wonder if it's going to be a fight. Roll a charisma check. Ooh, critical failure on your first roll. Better luck next time. The woman's eyes immediately narrow, and you see her reaching for something underneath the table. You get the feeling that she has greatly misinterpreted your statement. Business of the completely legal kind. You rush to correct yourself. I promise you, I'm just a traveler. I'm only looking for a little information, and then I'll be out of your hair. The woman doesn't look convinced. You slide into a bar stool and throw a few coins on the table, flashing her an awkward smile. I'll take a drink too, if you don't mind. She takes a second, scanning you up and down. You're scrawny. No armor. No weapons beyond a small dagger you shoved in your boot. And even that is probably too rusted to be used. You didn't have much time to pack when you left home. The woman sighs and scoops the coins up with one swift motion. She hops down from the stool, going to pour you the cheapest drink she can find. You don't mind. That's not what you're here for anyway. She slams a tankard of some kind of thick ale in front of you. It has almost a film on top. The kind of thing most places wouldn't be caught dead serving. Did I do something to deserve scrutiny? You ask. Even so, you pick up the tankard and take a cautious sip. Disgusting. She glances around. Only a few other patrons are in the bar, but they don't seem like particularly civil types. Some are trashed, shoving each other around and laughing loudly, others playing with a knife and their fingers. Not the kinds of people you're used to hanging around with. Depends. You one of them? You're not sure who them is. You shake your head. I'm just a traveler. I'm not one of anybody. She gives you one last look up and down and clicks her tongue. No, I suppose you wouldn't be. What's your name, stranger? You tell her. Doesn't matter if it's true. Roll for deception. $18. A success. An incredible success. She's bought it hook, line, and sinker. She nods. Mary Springmeadow, she says, gesturing to herself. She asks no more questions, but you feel that some of her apprehension has dissipated. Now is your chance. Quickly, before something goes wrong. "Miss Mary," you say, leaning forward and pushing your tankard away with your forearms. "You seem like you would know a bit about this town. Do you know of any mages or bookstores nearby that might have information about—" A knife comes flying across the room. You barely manage to catch a glimpse of it as it starts to head straight towards you. Roll a dexterity check. Three. Ouch. You manage to avoid getting hit in the head. Unfortunately, your hand doesn't move fast enough, and the blade sinks into your skin. You take 1 point of piercing damage. Lucky you. You pull the blade out and throw it to the ground, whirling around to see two of the bar patrons engrossed in a fight. They are screaming and pulling at each other's hair in a drunken, roiling mess. But they have weapons on hand. If you let them keep going, they might destroy the bar. Or worse. They're getting louder. Miss Mary is starting to look scared now, and you can't have that. You need her to answer your questions. This has to end. Now. "Hey," you say, approaching them. They aren't listening. They run right past you, slamming into the bar. Miss Mary screams and ducks underneath the table. You may be scrawny, but that's never stopped you before. You've been blessed by some mysterious force you've never been able to name. Nobody has ever managed to take you down. This will be no exception. You raise your hand, feeling heat rise in your fingertips as fire springs to life in your palm. No spellbook, no god, just you. A power you are more secure in than anything in the world. Roll to hit. Seven. That's not going to do it. As you release the firebolt, it goes wide, striking uselessly across the back of the bar. "Careful! There's alcohol back there," Mary yells. You feel magic surging up from within you. It's been a while since you cast a spell. It feels alive, like the air is singing around you. Although your attack missed, it certainly seems to have gotten the men's attention. "Don't get in the way," one of them growls, shoving the other off of him and taking a messy swipe at you. In his drunken state, you're able to dodge, although it is a narrow miss. "You're making a mess. If you're going to fight, take it outside," you say. Roll for persuasion. The man is too inebriated to listen. He whirls around, raising his fist to strike you once more. You have an opportunity to attack before he does. Power swells within you, and you lock eyes with the man. A powerful wave of psychic energy explodes from you, and he must roll a wisdom saving throw to avoid taking full damage. 5. He's not very wise. Roll 3d8 damage. "19 damage in a single hit. Incredible." The man grabs his head and falls to the ground screaming. The other man he was fighting looks at him in bewilderment. He looks back at you, and you wiggle your fingers. letting him know what he can expect if he tries to fight. The idea seems to sober him up a bit, and he hightails it out the door. The man on the floor isn't going to get up for a while. For now, you should be safe. Except that the magic within you is only growing more powerful. You've repressed it for too long, and now it's begging to be set free. You don't know what'll happen if you agree. Roll a d20 to see if you can control it. You manage to quell the tide of magic, forcing it back down before it can cause any damage. Finally, the tavern is quiet again. You make your way back over to the bar. Your tankard of ale is overturned, splashing out onto the floor. It's a lucky thing your firebolt didn't come this way, or else there might not have been a bar to save. "It's safe to come out, Miss Mary," you say. She slowly pulls herself from underneath the counter, peeking over the edge of the bar. The man on the floor has fully passed out and is sleeping, no doubt plagued with nightmares from your mind spike. She glances back at you, fear and apprehension returning to her eyes as she realizes that you are not, in fact, harmless. "Thank you. Maybe try to control your fireballs next time." She points to a burn mark across the back wall. You reach into your pouch and pull out a gold coin, tossing it over. Hopefully that will cover the damages. Mary isn't one to turn down free money. She slips the coin into her sleeve and frowns at you. "I've never seen magic quite like that." Many people haven't. Back in your village, you were somewhat of a town treasure. You were proud of that, once. "It comes naturally," you say. You leave out the part about the uncontrollable surges, the fact that you've never really been taught, and that you were too prideful to even think about control until recently. Miss Mary doesn't need the extra worry. Her eyes move back to the burn mark, and you get the feeling she doesn't need the extra incentive to dislike you. "I'd prefer you leave, and take that drunkard with you if you don't mind." She gestures to the man on the ground. "I will, but first, may you answer one question for me?" With a sigh, she nods. "Do you know of any mages or bookstores nearby that may have information about powerful magic?" She thinks about it for a moment. "Depends on what you're looking for, I guess. I hear there's a mage on the north end of town who's been looking for an apprentice. If you'd like to learn magic, I'd talk to them." You nod and offer her one final smile. "Thank you, Miss Mary. I hope you have a wonderful day." With that, you grab the unconscious man by the ankles and start dragging him out of the tavern, leaving behind one rather skeptical halfling. You eventually deposit the man in an alleyway a few streets down, straightening your clothes before setting your course to the Mage's Tower.